she looked at me and she said, "I'm safe now." And she put her hand on me and she said, "Mommy's safe and Daddy's safe and I'm safe." So I'm Vanessa, this is my husband Gabriel, and in terms of our journey, it was a few years. We decided after wanting to grow our family that foster to adopt would be a potential route. We felt peace in our heart to do that, and we decided to just explore different agencies, and we had a recommendation from someone that we know about 5 acres, and we thought let's meet with Yvonne and learn more about the process. So that's kind of where we started the process, and once we did that, we got into training, but it was a journey after that. So it took about a year and a half for us to get all the way to being actually ready for bringing in a child, welcoming a child into our home. So in September of 2018 is when we finally were able to welcome a 2.5-year-old little girl into our home, not knowing what the outcome would be, but just knowing that we were committed to keeping her safe, helping to provide her with the love and resources that she needed, and our entire family and network was just ready to embrace her. So
yeah, we didn't know what to expect. Coming in, it was very informative at first. The orientation was very helpful. It was, this is what to anticipate in the next few weeks. And initially, the introduction was fun. We got to meet everyone in the group. It was very informative, so it was helpful to know what to anticipate the following weeks. We were provided with some great materials to help guide us through that first week, and so it was really nice to meet other families, potential families that looked at the same journey that was anticipated through a different lens, through a different scope, because we came from all walks of life, but our goal was to add to the family and give the best opportunity for a child possible. So when it was said that second week is expected to come through, it was a little more intense, a little more in depth as to the reality, so that things started setting in. Okay, we can do this. Yeah.
And I think we really appreciated the facilitator. She kept things real. Yeah. So whether or not despite your background, despite your experiences, she kept it real, and she really helped everyone really think about, this is what is potentially you can expect. Let's practice these scenarios. Let's think about our own childhoods and how that might impact our parenting style and the way that we are welcoming a child into our home. So the facilitator made a humongous difference in, I would say, all of our experiences, and really helping to challenge our thinking on what this could potentially look like. And I think that was a positive, because it helped to prepare us as much as we could, because just talking about it is very different from experiencing it. But she really helped us to just think through and be as prepared as we could to welcome a child or children into our home. So we're grateful for that, definitely.
From that time, how long did it take to get your first child?
About a year and a half. Mm-hmm. We think about a year and a half. We moved in the process, and so it took us a little while, and we had to prepare in terms of us both working full time. Mm-hmm. So I was going to take off a little bit of time, but not a whole lot, because we weren't sure about how long a given child would stay in our home, and we wanted to be realistic about that. So it took us about a year and a half.
How was that?
I mean, we were really nervous. We were really nervous. We were really excited to meet her. We knew what her name was. We knew how old she was, although that was different when we actually brought her in. She was 3, but she ended up being 2. So that was something a little different. And it was also just right from the get-go, she shared with us, and that's kind of a part of her, is she's expressive, and she shared from us from the very first night some of the things that she saw, some of the things that she experienced with her 2-year-old language. So that was hard. It was really tough, but we just kind of listened and provided the comfort that we could provide, and that was the start of our journey. We were able to have some smiles together too, and laugh a little bit, and just basically be there for her and taking her lead on how to move from there.
I remember getting the call. I was in the office, and my wife called me and said, "Hey, it's happening. She's here." And it was unbelievable. I immediately packed up my things. Said, "Okay, what do we need? Do we need this? Do we need that? What can we anticipate, at least, for the first night, and getting everything settled in?" But it was the facilitator and the training helped prepare us for that first day. Not only with a list of what we can have on standby, but what can potentially happen. How a child comes into your home. What kind of belongings to expect. What memories can she take with her into the home from her experience, from her life. And it was a very special day. It was a memorable day. It's stamped in my mind how when we first made eye contact, when I walked into the front door, what she felt. She was, it's everything that the training prepared you for, in terms of what her first words can be, but it was a joyous moment at the same time. That to know that these walls that she came into will now provide that safety for her, will now provide that security, will now provide whatever she needed. And I think it was so it was everything in a nutshell.
A little bit about it.
Yeah. Oh. So I mean, the great thing is that we it also provided the training. We knew that the day would come where your social worker would reach out to you, provide you with some information on the child, but also provide you with some guidance on setting up visitations, and how we can establish a relationship with the biological family. And it's great to know that what we want to do is always look to see what we can do, what's best for the child, in terms of how this goes about. We didn't know what to expect during visitation. Who's going to go, when they're going to happen, how often they're going to happen. But the social worker was very informative in how all this happens. And so we had an opportunity to build a relationship with a biological mother initially, and help provide guidance with her as well, and just keep her updated as to how she's doing, and what she's been up to, and in terms of the day-to-day at first, and having her in the home, we know what she does, what she eats, how she sleeps, her day-to-day, but it also, in the back of our mind, sets in as to what she may be thinking. How can we provide her with updates on how all this goes about, and it's mixed feelings. There's a lot of mixed emotions in how all this happens, but DCFS and 5 Acres were really supportive on how to guide those visitations and how to guide wheres and the whens and the hows. But
and also just developing that relationship over the phone. There were times where it was really challenging for her. So also serving as a listening ear and sharing if for some reason our daughter did not want to talk on the phone that given evening, just sharing that she talks about her, that she cares about her, she thinks about her, and providing that support where we could. At times. We don't unfortunately have a relationship with biological mom. She kind of stopped having contact at a certain point, but we think about her and we just really hope the best for her and her journey moving forward, and we try to keep the memories alive that our daughter has of her biological parents. We honor that. We definitely keep that as respect her memories, and we help to kind of keep those alive for her as well in terms of the positive memories that she has of her family. Yeah, so it was definitely joyous. It's still very new. We just had the adoption finalized in June, the end of June.
Oh, wow.
So we were really excited. Our daughter was also really excited. We told her, she was sitting on my lap, and when we let her know, she jumped off of my lap and just started dancing around. And for some reason, she wanted to have us all look in the mirror at each other. So we did that also, and we were just really happy about that. And I mean, one thing that changes, you don't have all of the paperwork that you used to have.
Yeah, get freedom.
So that was one thing that was great. Not being able to travel was also nice as well, in terms of just having that a little bit of freedom with being able to travel. Things have not, well, our relationship definitely has changed in some ways with 5 Acres, but the great thing is that there's still programs out there for families post-adoption. So we're part of the APSS program, so that's Adoption Promotion and Support Services program. We're part of their support group, and we had been, once we knew that we were going to transition into adopting our daughter, we've been a part of that program for about a year, and that's been a tremendous support to be able to be in a community, basically in community with other families that have already adopted their children, and to be able to hear what kind of things we can anticipate when our child gets older as well, and how we can really just honor where she's at each stage, and just have some listening ears that have gone through similar journeys as we have, has been a great support. So that's how we stay engaged. I know we also stay engaged by sharing with other parents that are just finishing up their training to be resource parents, and sharing a little bit of our journey, a little bit of the reality of what it's like when you bring a child, when you welcome a child into your home, and really helping to provide a reminder of what are we doing this for. Yes, on one hand, it's to grow our family, to have another child in our home that we can love and keep safe, but on the other hand is, what is our focus? Our focus is on the well-being of that child, whether or not that means that they stay with our family forever, whether that means that they go back to their biological parents. That is amazing if they're able to do that. So just being able to keep that focus and remind those that are new in the journey, what are we doing this for? And that's what we're doing this for, is to keep these children safe and nourished and, and loved. So, yeah.
Yeah, what she said. No, it's been a great journey post adoption, but always knowing that reunification is always key and is always the initial goal. Considering the child's safety, considering the well-being of the child, considering that the child is in a place where he's going to be warm and welcomed and cared for. But 5 Acres has continued to be a key support and the relationship there is growing. APSS has been marvelous, has been great, has been key in this, and continuing to be part of this. You know, having this relationship with 5 Acres and other agencies out there that do support post adoption is key. So that's important. But it's just been pure joy since then. Freedom, being able to go, where we need to go, being able to take her where we've been wanting to take her, and do things like that. So keep building relationships with those that you not only attend training with, but to everyone you meet. Networking is key, because the more that we're able to share about what we want to do, what we can do, the support will always be there with 5 Acres. But keep an open heart and an open mind, because it's the journey is incredible, but with an open heart and an open mind, and networking and having all the guidance and keeping contact, keeping in touch, asking for help, not hesitating, asking for help for sure. There's going to be calls that will need to be made, whether it's in the middle of the night or something, that ask for help.
Yeah, definitely. And also just knowing that it is scary. There are so many unknowns in the process, and it's really important to take care of yourself. The more you kind of nourish yourself, the more that you're able to nourish your child, the child that's in your home, and that support is there. And there's nothing that is too crazy, scary, or weird that 5 Acres will be shocked by, or other more seasoned resource parents won't be shocked by. So seek out that support, like Gabriel had said, because there's so many people that are out there just ready to offer that support, or even listening ear to the point that you're at in your journey, and that it's super worth it. It's very worth it to see that progress and that healing in the child over time. And sometimes it kind of feels like, are you making a difference in this child's life when it gets really, really tough? Because there can be really tough points, but when you look back, and I know we do that, is look back and reflect, the healing is obvious in the sense of how far she has come, and it's worth it. So
Yeah, and be adaptive to change. Be adaptive to going back to what I was saying about having an open mind is, when we prepared a bedroom for her, we prepared everything for her, and sometimes it's not where the child conforms to our home and our life, but making the compromise to be prepared to start over with everything that we thought we had ready, because a lot of times it may not always be how we imagined it to be. So being prepared to compromise to his needs when the child comes home, be ready to redo the room, redo the home, whatever it is that we have to redo to make it work.
And I mean, another thing we haven't mentioned yet is we were able to get mental health support as well for our daughter, and also for our family. So that was also a part of 5 Acres. We tried to kind of keep it under one umbrella, and that seemed to really help as well. So a couple of days after our daughter joined our family, I received a phone call from a colleague, and she actually didn't know that we had already welcomed a child into our family. She wasn't aware of that piece, but she did know that we were going through the training. We were as patient as possible, waiting for that day to come, and she just called to check in, and I shared with her that that our daughter had joined our family, that a little girl, 2-year-old girl, had joined our family. She also has a background in trauma-informed care and in just really helping children and families heal. So one of the things that that was experienced during that time was our daughter was very expressive about what she experienced at her prior home. And I was really struggling with, how do I respond to her? What do I say? How do I comfort her? And so I asked that question to my colleague that called. What do I say? She's telling me these things and I don't know what to do. And one thing that she recommended was that we share with her that she's safe. Every time she says that, say, you're safe, baby. I hear you. I'm sure that was painful. You're safe. And at that point, I wondered, does she know what safe means? Does she even understand what that means? So come a few months, I would say probably 6 months later, every night I would spend time by her bed to help her go to sleep, and we would turn down the lights and she would share different things, and one night she was still awake and as chatty as she typically is, and she looked at me and she said, "I'm safe now." And she put her hand on me and she said, "Mommy's safe and Daddy's safe and I'm safe." So at that moment I knew, she knew what safety meant, and she felt that in her heart, and I couldn't believe that she said that, but that really kind of helped me be able to see it's possible. It's possible to be able to help a child heal through, over time, with the love and the security that you could provide. It's possible. And even though at that point she was almost going to turn 3, she understood what safety meant at that point. So that was a huge kind of milestone for us and our family. I remember walking out of the bedroom after she fell asleep, just kind of like, did this just happen or did I dream it? And I came and I told Gabriel, I can't believe she understands what safety means. So I'm just forever grateful for that person to know. The universe told her to call me. I was able to kind of ask for help, and she provided some just beautiful and really just, beautiful support. So, yeah.